Welcome back, everybody, to the Miami Marlins franchise Season 6. We are 10 games into the year. It's still early, and the Marlins are 7-3. As expected, the offense has been one of the best in baseball to open the year, as we're hitting a lot of home runs and scoring a bunch in the early games. Brent Rooker, the MVP from last year and the season prior, has already driven in 16 runs, hit 4 homers. He's on another MVP pace. I really want to see today, though, how the year unfolds for a lot of these starting pitchers. Will players like Ryan Pepiot and Noble Meyer duplicate their past success? Meyer's up to an 82, and this is, I think, about his potential. Some guys at 82 show they can stick around, some guys can't. But we've seen a lot of good signs from him over the past season. We already won one series against the Mets. We'll get the day underway with Eury Perez again having to leave a start early. This has happened many times here in the series. Doesn't seem to be major, and we win 8-3. 2 more homers in this game from Hank Holder and Logan O'Hoppe. Eury Perez could only go 3 innings today, and then a great job by Robbie Snelling picking him up, kind of doing the other half of that start then after his injury. Second time facing Tarik Skubal already, and the Mets are able to beat us this time around. Wasn't going to be easy getting the better of him twice, but bullpen gives up a bunch of runs late. Tarik Skubal puts together a very good day. All right, it's all about stacking up these early series wins. Too early against the Mets would bode well for us. We're on the road in the third game of this set. 1 apiece in the fourth. And a chance for Marcelo Meyer. Nice breaking ball from Brandon Sproat. And chasing one a little high there. It's strike 3. They'll move us ahead to the 5th inning. Xavier Edwards at the plate. He has 2 on. Trying to break this 1-1 tie. Nasty curve once again. Only hitting .222 so far. And Edwards hits a fly to right center field. That'll be a catch. Out number 2. We can see down below, Hank Holder has a 16-game hitting streak, and he hasn't always started his seasons as strong as we would like. I think that's different now in his 4th Major League season. Here is the MVP, Brent Rooker. Already up to 18 RBIs. Not many hotter than him early. Come on, don't expand his zone. Making it easier here on Sproat. It's 0-2, and I was bracing for the curveball, strike 3. They throw a lot more 0-2 fastballs than I ever expect them to. Of course, Kyle Harrison was one of our big additions for this season. And we're just getting, his 3rd start underway here. It is 2 on in the 5th inning. Luis Angel Acuna. Here's an 0-2 slider lifted for Carter. Don't think they'll tag from second here. Nick Morabito. A 2-hitter now for New York. We have not come across him before to my memory. But hitting high in the lineup, hitting for good average. Here's a 2-2 changeup. And he missed, but got jammed. Inning over for Harrison. And that's all they give us from this situation. No more offense, as Miami is celebrating a series victory as we scored 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. Homers for Rooker and Carter fuel another series win. We are just getting started today, though, and thank you for all the support. Now 50 episodes into the Miami Marlins franchise. That is unbelievable to already be at episode 50 in July. Next week, College Football 26 does drop. When a game drops, I do spend a lot of time with it as I establish some new content. Looking at doing Road to Glory and Dynasty this year, but probably only Road to Glory here on this channel. In the meantime, I will still be doing my best to keep episodes coming out in this series. Sometimes it's tough when a game first drops those first few days, so I will do my best there. If the series doesn't show up for a few days, it will be back. And I'm still very invested in getting this team back to the postseason to have, hopefully, a successful run to the World Series. And I would love to see players like Doug Butcher continue to rise up the system and show they could help us out when it comes to going to that World Series. Doug Butcher was our first-round pick a couple of years ago, and he was expected to go number 1 in the draft. And then he didn't. He slid all the way to our pick, which was around 9th or 10th overall. It turns out Butcher's ceiling is like an 83 or 84 potential. Let me double check. But he's also a more injury-prone player. And we found that out last year when in the first couple weeks of the season, he suffered a season-ending injury. And he's somebody that is probably going to have to be a DH only, just to preserve his health and keep his offense in the lineup. My hope is that later in the season, he's definitely helping out the big league club, and early at AA, he is crushing it as a 79 overall should. Still, he's getting at least a month down here, then he'll rise up to AAA, and we'll talk about the rest from there. Down to Pensacola we go. The Blue Wahoos are 5-1. And that's not surprising when you consider some of the prospects we have down here. But I do have Butcher strictly getting DH playing time right now. No outfield. Maybe if the durability gets better, maybe if it's a necessity. Let's say somebody like Connor Norby or Josh Lowe went down. Then he might have to at least platoon. DH some days, start in the field on others. Don't be hitting him. If he gets hurt here on a hit by pitch, I'm going to lose my mind. Wow, that sounds different, doesn't it? Butcher is a switch hitter who is much better as a lefty and has great speed and base stealing ability. Now, I'm always worried about sliding sometimes and stealing bases with these more injury-prone players. It is a spot where they can get hurt. He also draws a lot of walks. You know, why would you want to pitch this guy in the zone? Lucas Johnson's going to step up here, and the elevator pitch on him is think a C potential Nolan Gorman caliber player. He's an infielder who's like all power, will probably strike out 30% of the time, and be prone to slumps like he is seeing here early in the season, batting under 100. Not sure we're going to see a lot of strikes, so when they're there, we got to pounce on them. 2 outs, and the runner goes. It's strike 2 as we do work a runner into scoring position. That's R.D. Castle. I traded for him last episode. And why? Because he's an infielder with tremendous speed that can do this. Sometimes I'm looking for different skill sets. I can't draft it all, but I can trade for the rest usually. It's a grounder. This is going to be tough as Butcher will beat. No, he's out by a half step. That's a good call. Under the lights in Pensacola, still without a run. Okay, that was... I just didn't see it, and then I do these weird defensive swings sometimes when I know I should have swung. That's better. Line to center. Down, and this is going to be trouble. All the way to the warning track. Butcher around second. He's heading to third. He's going to go. Butcher all the way. No. Drove in one. Nearly an inside the park homer. At AA, I'm pretty much going to test anybody. Even if that was not the longest throw there by the cutoff. I'm still taking those chances. And now we're going to see him bat as a righty. His numbers or his ratings against lefties aren't nearly as good. So we're going to have to see how he actually performs. Is he more of a player we're going to be platooning early on, or will this get better? And this is one of those ratings. When you do well or poorly against lefties, it seems to be the most sensitive rating in the game. I can't tell you how many times I've seen like plus 11 contact in 1 year or like -8. If you do well, you will get rewarded. Evan Carter was one of those guys who was more splits oriented when we acquired him. And then as he was successful, he quickly could just hit anybody. And hopefully Butcher can see something similar.
No, that missed. That's
Love that. Ferris wheel all lit up there in right center. 3-2 and a bouncer hit to short. That's a great pitch. See, that's the double-A defense you sometimes run into. That's why you get aggressive down here. That's an E6, though. All right, Luke, come on now. Let's see some of that power. Lucas Johnson, number 5. I don't think I'm going to take off here with Butcher. We're down 3. Let's play smart baseball here. Says the guy who was just determined to have an inside-the-park home run. That's driven high and hard to right center, but it gets run down. Nelson Iden. Man, we could have fun if this were just a series down at the double-A level with some of these prospects that have been long-term players. Iden, I believe, from the 2nd or 3rd draft class. But guys like him are getting into the mid-60s now, and they're like one good season and one injury away from suddenly being at the major league level. Huey Costa's in that same group with his power. He's going to bounce this one up the middle and through. Butcher will be waved and will score. Unfortunately, we cannot muster up a couple more runs, and that's the game. Butcher does have the triple, though, and it was fun to spend a little time down here in Pensacola. Well, that's disappointing. I scouted Pablo Aquino, one of the top relievers in this class. I don't know. He went way down our board, but I don't think that a high C, low B potential for a reliever is bad. I'm very interested still, and maybe if I scouted him more, it would change his ranking or whatever a little bit. I'm actually going to be doing a lot of reliever scouting now because we're in year 6. I'm looking at players that can be the final piece to a team trying to win a title. And sometimes a good reliever is that piece. Facing the Nationals now. Will they be more of a challenge this season? Well, let's jump into Yuri Perez next outing after having to leave his previous with injury. Brady House with 2 aboard. Perez at 57 pitches. And that's going to be stopped by Ohapi. The fastball at 98. That 12-6, man, it is tough to handle. And there's the fastball. That's one of my go-to pitches with Perez. I want to get right in on the edge there, maybe even a couple more inches inside, so that if they do catch up, it's going to be harder to make good contact. Oh, is Elliot Ramos now with the Angels? That's what it's saying down below. So a little bit of change out there in San Francisco, the team that ended our season last year. All right, you never want a 4-pitch walk to the 9-hitting catcher. You're supposed to get the out there. Instead, Perez throws his 4th walk of the day, and here's Edgar Santana. A chance to break this game open. Another miss. Fastball. Oh, no, it's past Johnny. Into left, and Norby's throw will not be in time. Not sure if I could have dove to get that one. It was slow enough, I thought we'd get to it. Nice job by Edgar Santana. Even if we don't want to bring back Perez next year, I will be extending the qualifying offer in free agency. But, yeah, so far, not all that impressed with his start to the season. I think the high-level play is there somewhere, but I'm wondering if Noble Meyer's hot streak last year was better than any 10 to 15 start streak for Perez in this series. Will we get any more situations? We do later. Let's get some offense going here. Here is Hank Holder with Xavier Edwards on first base, and I think we're going to go here, and Holder bounces, so Edwards is safe at second. Hitting with Evan Carter the last couple years has been the closest thing to feeling like I'm playing with cheat codes on. I don't know if there's another player I am more confident hitting with. I always like hitting with lefties, and when he gets a pitch to hit, it's just blasted. He does not waste opportunities. .396 average. Could gush about Evan Carter. Stop pitching him inside like that. Walk. Your gift for walking Evan Carter is the best lineup protection in baseball as Brent Rooker steps up with 2 aboard. Is a .524 average with runners in scoring position good? Asking for a friend. Right field hit well, but not nearly well enough. Still, I'll have Edwards try to advance and get up to third. Here's Joe Brown hitting .241. Numbers trending down from a year ago where he did drive in 100 RBIs. Has not been nearly as good with runners in scoring position this season. Ooh. I'm that early on 93. Times have changed. Yeah, I love this hitting camera I switched to in like season 4. Gonna be sticking with this for hopefully the rest of the time. I really like this camera. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Strike 3. The Marlins cannot get it done this time around. Nationals get the better of us. They scored 6 in the 7th inning, so that is usually going to do it. Who are we blaming today? It's going to be Brian Ariano, who didn't even record an out. Hey, growing pains here for the young reliever. That's going to happen. The Marlins are now 10-6, tied for first with the Phillies. Mets behind us, and the Braves way down there. 4 hot streaks in this lineup early in the season. We're getting into a player lock game now with the one and only Johnny Grieve. Wow, over our last 11 games, we're scoring 7 runs a game, hitting .302 as a team with 2 homers per game, 22 total. Today we take on Zach Gallen. Good time to do a little player lock game against an old friend. I don't know, I feel like maybe it's not quite like the Rockies franchise days anymore. I've had so many reps against Gallen over the last 5 years of my life. Johnny Grieve, though, is the topic right here, whereas he's hitting .294. And I wasn't expecting anything nearly that high, but after last year's postseason, I was hoping he had turned the corner. That momentum has carried on. 2 homers on the season. If he can hit above .260, give us 15 plus homers and play good defense, that's a good starting infielder right there. What a pitch. Are you serious?
2 strikes.
That pitch was crazy. 2 on here for Johnny. 2 strikes. Nice try.
2 strikes.
Diamondbacks scored 3 early. Now the Marlins attempting to answer back. Johnny pops up the curve. And Gallen will get away with this one. You know, I'm not thinking this is our day. 7-0 is how we open. Robbie Snelling is already in the game. This was a Shane Baz start. 4 stolen bases on the year, too, for Johnny Grieve. Helping us out in a lot of different areas. I think that this first pick of the series is finally panning out.
That's a ball.
You know, I think in this game, some of the high contact, high batting average guys, the ratings where that stuff becomes more reliable is higher. At least that's just my experience. I haven't had enough, overall reps, but I thought Johnny would hit the ground running, as a lot of players have in past games with good contact. But I'm glad we're here now. Getting hammered here by the Diamondbacks, as Johnny just might not be a breaking ball hitter. 10 runs, 15 hits. First defensive sequence of the day. They've been busy hitting it over the infielders' heads, it seems. That's going to be the end of the inning there. 3-run homer, Joe Brown. That makes it a 10-5 game. 5 runs in the 9th. That doesn't sound too outrageous for this team. By the catcher into scoring position as we try to get at least that 6th run. Johnny, just a little early. That could have been a 10-7 game. And backhanded at third. That's great defense. Johnny retired 0 for 4. And the Snakes take this one. They're all wearing their gloves on their heads. Zach Gallen, you win this battle, buddy. I'd like to talk about another player that has a chance to help us out this year at some point. That is infielder Aubrey Fenner. Acquired him from Minnesota before year 5. He has 71 overall, very solid B potential. He can play second in the entire outfield. Defense isn't his big strength, though. He's a high contact, high vision, clutch hitter, and he's only 20 years old. Injuries can show up at any moment, but I think we have some players that could step in and give us a good chance to keep things on track. Here is Fenner as we go down to Jacksonville. He is apparently our number 14 prospect. A player as good as him being your 14 puts you in a pretty good spot. Base hit into right center. He's also a stolen base threat, and I'd love to take off here, and that should be an easy stolen base. That's his third now on the season. PJ Morlando is batting, and that will force Fenner back to second. And Damian Kaufman. You know, we have a few guys who are not going to be known for their defense, but have some batting skills that could bring them to the majors at some point. Kaufman, all power. Been hoping to see his plate vision go up so the strikeout numbers come down. But he grounds out and leaves Fenner. Another drive to right center. Fenner is 2 for 2. This one's going to be good for extras. He sprints into second. I don't think I can get to third in time. A run scores on the RBI double. We got him at second base right now. Let's see if he can make a play on a routine grounder. That was pretty good. And that's going to do it for this one. We end up winning the game in the bottom of the 10th inning. And Aubrey Fenner has a nice 2 for 4 day. Damian Kaufman and Luke Keeschel also went yard. Back to the majors, where we have a series against the Phillies, who are a game back of us in the East. Philadelphia took a step back last season. And in this first game, they do beat us for a 5-3 win. Noble Meyer went 5 and was pretty solid on the day. Bullpen has seemed a little shaky at times. We're going to have to see how things are holding up there. Honestly, it doesn't look great. Edwin Uceda was our big addition. He's gotten hit around a couple times over the last handful of games. We have Brian Ariano, who had the 4-inning outing previously, so that's going to take a while to clean up. And then Milt Merrifield's ERA is sitting here at 12, giving up multiple runs in 3 out of his last 5. Kenny Norris is the pitcher, I think we all have the highest expectations of here, and he's been the best. 12 innings, 8 hits, no earned runs. Norris is settling in as one of the best bullpen arms we have. We take this first series from the Philadelphia Phillies. Evan Carter leads us with 2 homers in the finale. 6-5, Miami wins. We all know the Reds have become one of the better teams here in the league. And I was surprised when we didn't match up with them in the postseason last year. I want to show you who's now part of their rotation. Hunter Green, Jared Jones, and Sandy Alcantara. Now in Cincinnati. Spent a couple years in Chicago. Sandy's been solid, maybe not spectacular. Actually, these advanced numbers aren't terrific. The Reds are leading us here 2-0, but we have a chance to come back. Evan Carter, 7 homers, 25 RBIs, facing the lefty Andrew Abbott. Got to get at least 1 here. Nice fastball on the inside edge. Then he goes up and in for strike 2. On the corner, strike 3. Yeah, I've not done a good job protecting here with 2 strikes. It's kind of my playing style, though. I tend to take more close pitches. 2 in scoring position, Edwards. Pretty quiet start to the year. And this one is sent right down the middle. Another fly ball. It feels like he's just getting under everything right now. Same score. They're shutting us down here. It's Josh Lowe, and I know our best bat off the bench in this spot is already on second base. I got the option, though, to bring Hank Holder into this game. Don't mind if I do. Hank comes in hitting .227. Whoa. All right, those numbers have been pretty rough. We'll have to check out his recent stretch. Although we know it's not going to be great. So Holder over his last 10, only hitting .167. Hasn't homered in that time and has only driven in 2 RBIs. Inside out. It's going to get by the first baseman, and a lucky break there. It's an RBI single for Hank Holder, and we're on the board. Brent Rooker and Evan Carter, 7 homers each behind Jose Ramirez, the NL home run leader, with 10. To the right side. That's 1. And Xavier Edwards now will ground one through. A base hit extends the inning. They'll make a change. Yenier Cano is now with the Reds and not off to a great start this season. Brent Rooker gets the fresh pitcher. Just a little late. And that ain't going to get it done. We're going to pitch the 9th inning here with Jose Hernandez. And last year, lefties were great against him. They're hitting .250 so far this season. But Hernandez off to a strong start. Jake McCarthy leads things off for Cincinnati. A bouncer hit Edwards' way. 1 down. Jordan Hicks down below. Best pitcher in the American League so far. I don't know where that came from. After he was nothing special with us. All right, cannot get enough strikes against Josh Smith, so that's going to bring up Darrell Ingram, hitting .300 with 7 homers. Maybe stepping things up after the way last season for him went. Yeah, he loves hitting lefties, too. This is a big at-bat. Last year, he only hit .245, but still slugged .504 with 35 home runs. So that's kind of his version of a step back. It's still an excellent season. He does have an all-star appearance under his belt and is only 21 years old. There are a lot of fun young players here in the National League with some of these rebuilt teams. Just off the corner, trying to avoid giving him a fastball. And he grounds one through for a base hit instead. Anthony Santander with a base hit, and that should be a run. Ingram heads to third, and Cincinnati extends their lead. Has not been a great stretch for our bullpen, and there aren't a lot of options here other than just letting Hernandez go. Dumped in right, and it lands to extend the Cincinnati lead. First and third again. Well, we made a change anyway. George Soriano is not rested whatsoever. And I'm not sure the Reds are finished yet. Bounced it to Meyer, and we will get the double play. 3-run lead for Tanner Scott. The former Marlin is now their closer. Connor Norby's hitting .303. His numbers are excellent. Just 4 hits here for Miami. Offense has cooled off in the last couple weeks. So to start things off, 3-2. Will Scott give us something here? Nope. Ball 4. Oh, Hoppy now to right center and let the rally begin. Norby will go from first to home, and it's a 4-2 ball game. And you're suddenly one swing from tying it. Here's Joe Brown. Okay, not that swing, though. Ooh, that was a good fastball to hit. Scott needs to get an out here. And it's lined to third. Great swing by Joe. But an out. Marcelo Meyer. Left on left with Meyer, or do you go to the bench for Johnny Grieve? It answers itself there. Johnny off the bench. Fly ball. Johnny's trying to tie the game here, and he's not going to come close. Aaron Jackson, 1 for 7 on the year. Has a few RBIs, and now the game is on the first-year pro. Jackson with a drive. Belted left center, but run down, and Cincinnati holds on. Thought we might have something there. But the Reds have been playing great baseball to start the season. They have a better record than we do, and they take this first game. Marlins drop to 14-9. Ryan Pepio bruised arm. He should be all right, but another abbreviated outing as we do beat the Reds in the second game. Pepio went 4 1/3, and the bullpen did a good job afterwards, giving up just 1 run. To finish this series, it's Noble Meyer versus Sandy Alcantara. I was hoping they'd give me an earlier scenario in this game, but we're jumping into the 8th inning, and we trail by a pair. Will Vest facing Joe Brown, scoring all of our runs late after going down 6-0. And Joe hits this one to straightaway center, lines out. Continues to be a step back for him this season. And Logan O'Hoppe backing him off the plate, falling behind, or now it's full 3-2. And that's a drive. O'Hoppe, left center, tied. There it is. Logan O'Hoppe makes it 6 apiece on his 6th homer this season. Crushed that ball. That's why you go and add one of the best offensive catchers in the game. 112 off the bat, and they're going to go to their bullpen and make a move with Brandon Williamson. Bounced by Josh Lowe, and we're going to head into the 9th here. Tied up, and I'm going to flamethrower Kenny Norris. He has still yet to give up a run this season in 12 outings. This might be one of his toughest innings, though, facing the top 3 in this Cincinnati lineup. Popped up on the first pitch. Over is Joe Brown. Does he have this room? Come on, Joe. Fly ball. Josh Lowe back a few steps. Caught it. Bryce Terang sees the 100-mile-per-hour fastball. I can't believe that. Jonah Bride leads the National League in batting average right now over Luis Arraez. Come on, man. Darrell Ingram with 2 outs. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Norris. Screwball missing outside. He likes hitting lefties. This ain't your average lefty in Kenny Norris. 2-0 here. He's getting a fastball. We're going to challenge him up and in. Grazing the edge. Just low on the screwball. That's a good pitch. Got it full now. Kenny Norris to Darrell Ingram. His 3-2. Popped him up. A little too much heat that time. Inning over. Who's going to take the series in this big meeting against the Reds? We're bottom of the ninth, tied at 6, and Johnny Grieve leads us off. We have scored in 4 straight innings. Johnny to deep left center. Run down. On the corner, bounce to third. They'll get Edwards. All right, Hank. What do you have for us? Bottom of the 9th inning. Hitting .227. That's a strike? What? Can I challenge that? 0-2. Maybe he would have called that a strike anyway. We're playing on. And I'm leaving Kenny Norris in for the start of the 10th inning. Because I don't think there's anyone else on this team I want at the beginning of extra innings with that runner in scoring position. It was an 11-pitch 9th. I don't think that he's going to necessarily go all 3 outs this time, but the chance to get that first at-bat strikeout is what I'm looking for. Just off. Norris! What a play! Gets Santander. Here's the state of the bullpen, by the way. No one's completely fresh. Is anybody here a better option than who we have? And Pepio must be here in the bullpen because there was an injury. Runner takes off for third base. I was holding square. Why is it doing this? This happened last episode, too. I was trying to get a throw to second. I don't know what's going on there.
1 ball, 1 strike.
So, again, we need to prevent a productive out or hit.
Ball 3.
And these are missing just a little bit off. Lined at low. Ingram at third is going to head home and score. 7-6. Unearned run then charged to Kenny Norris. Or I guess that would mean it's not charged technically. Ryan Ward. Hard to catch up to that. And he struck him out. We've got to get at least 1. They are going to go with Tanner Scott, 10 of 11 on save attempts, and this is a save attempt. Triple and a single for Evan Carter. Hank Holder's the runner.
2-0.
Off the plate, 2-0 on a pair of sliders. Let's see that fastball. Rolled to the right side, stopped from his back. Carter wins the race to first. Wow, what an attempt. It's an infield hit for Evan Carter. Moving up is Hank Holder. This was a phenomenal attempt over at first base. This is Ryan Ward. Has to work to his right, slide. He's going to throw this. Basically a fadeaway. But hard to win a foot race with Evan Carter. Brent Rooker. All you got to do is bring Hank home, and that'll be a good at-bat. Looking for RBI 30. Man, Scott's throwing his best change-ups right here. And that's a drive to right field. Holder will tag and score from third. 7 apiece. I love that we basically have this rivalry spawned with the Reds in this series. After we took Hank Holder, they take Darryl Ingram, Norby to left, and not enough behind it. I'm thinking here we see if we can get Carter a base up. Got Joe Brown. After him is Logan O'Hoppe.
Outside.
I don't know how easy this is going to be, though. We're going to go on this pitch. And Carter is in there. He's safe. Joe Brown going for the win. Rolled over, third base. And he's out. And yes, that is a blown save for Tanner Scott. Very unfortunate. you know, when there's a free runner in the 10th inning and it's not your fault he scored. But we're going to have to make a pitching change here. Yeah, they moved Snelling into the rotation temporarily. That's all right. We're going to Cole Sands. 6 of 7 on save attempts this season. And here is the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Reds. Bouncer Joe Brown is going to let Sands make the play. We're trying to work ourselves into a strikeout here. Throwing slurves to Campusano, and he's down 0-2. On the corner, strike 3. Got him. And now Edwin Arroyo. Good cutter to get ahead. 1-2, slurve, strike 3. What a pitch from Cole Sands. He and Kenny Norris doing a great job late in this game to give us a chance at taking this series. We just got to bring home Joe Brown, and actually I think we're going to be running for him. Got Drew Jones on the bench. Aaron Jackson could then move over to first base. I don't think we're going to play any more defense today, though. Logan O'Hoppe. Not much energy here for Tanner Scott. Count opens 2-1. Now even. Obviously, this first batter is so critical. Even if you get out, can it be a good, productive at-bat? Josh Lowe afterwards. I might have to see if I could probably pinch hit Aaron Jackson. Wow, that's a lucky break as Logan O'Hoppe draws the walk. Ultimately, his run doesn't matter. But, yeah, if I have Drew Jones here, put Jackson in the game now, I could just swap those two should we have to place him D. So, I've given Aaron Jackson multiple chances late in games. His MLB debut was in a situation similar, trying to help us win the game. Well, here he is, looking for his first big moment as a Marlin, as that touches the clouds and travels foul. He's hit, and the bases are loaded, which means Johnny Grieve has the chance to win it. Bases filled. No one coming to relieve Tanner Scott. A hit to the outfield could do it. That's a drive, and I think that's going to be it. In center field, caught. Here comes Drew Jones, and the game is over. He slides in safely. Johnny Grieve, walk-off sac fly, and we take the series from our newest rivals in Cincinnati. I have a feeling we're going to have some more intense games against these guys down the stretch. Very likely we meet in the postseason sometime. And these are two of the best in the National League. Sandy Alcantara had started this game and went 6 innings, only gave up 2 runs and struck out 7. Noble Meyer faced him, went 4 innings, giving up 2 runs. Chet Sparbori has broke his hand. He is going to miss 1 to 2 months. We've actually had Perez, Pepio, and Boz all suffer minor injuries today. But the newest player on the injured list is Chet Sparbori. And he had not been hitting all that great beforehand, but a broken hand will further set him back. We are about to get Troy Gates back, and I'll have to make a decision on if he's going to join the big league bullpen where he was excellent in spring training. Is there a spot for him currently? Do you allow Robbie Snelling to face waivers at 80 overall? Or do you do anything else here? Brian Ariano, he's kind of struggling a little bit over his last couple outings, but I have a feeling Gates will probably start off at AAA, and we'll see if anything needs to happen. Got a road trip now, 2 cities, and we open in Seattle, where the Marlins defeat the Mariners 4-3. We have Yuri Perez go 6, giving up 2. Troy Gates is indeed healthy now. Will burn up his third option to send him down to AAA. So this is the kind of player I am more interested in this year when it comes to scouting. This is first baseman Freddie Wooten. He has 75 to 80 potential, 74 to 79 overall. He has a lot of college experience. He's going to be one of the older rookies in this draft. 23 years old. But he's excellent on offense. Has a strong arm, which might not do him much good playing first base and first base only. But I'm interested in adding more players that could fill in if there's an injury and just get us closer to winning a championship the next few years. Connor Norby puts together a 2-home run day in the finale against the Mariners. That's another series win. That is 8 consecutive series. We've only played 9. And the other one was a split. But now we face another National League heavyweight in the Los Angeles Dodgers. Both teams are 18-10. Jose Ramirez has 11 home runs. Ellie De La Cruz was their big free agent addition. Kyle Tucker is cold this year. He is not having a great start, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. And there's still Shohei Ohtani. This team just doesn't make any sense. They're so good. Marlins take the first game 7-2. Holder hits a pair of triples and a home run. While Ryan Pepio, who was originally in the Dodgers organization, goes 6 innings, no runs allowed against them. Marlins then take game 2, 9-5, and this is us going on the road, ensuring another series win. Great job by Noble Meyer, 6 1/3, 2 earned. And the finale in this series is Yuri Perez versus Roki Sasaki. Up 2-0 early in the game. And not getting much accomplished against the 3-time reigning Cy Young winner. Evan Carter scorches one, though, into left, and Edwards will pump the brakes, will load the bases, and try to get some runs off Sasaki. It does not happen easily. Connor Norby comes in hitting .311. One of the hottest hitters on this team the last 2 seasons. 7 homers, 20 runs batted in. That's up the middle and through. 1 run will score. A second on the way. And we're tied. 116 off the bat. I have not hit many harder than that in this game. Yeah, that one just looked different coming off the bat. What a special player Connor Norby has become. Perfect, I'd say so. Logan O'Hoppe. Now we want the lead. Norby's gonna go here, and he is in there with a stolen base. First stolen base on the season for Norby. And he'll walk O'Hoppe to load the bases for Joe Brown. Joe's hitting only .224. After last season, he hit .284. His on-base is down 68 points. Bouncer, third base. Turn to second. Joe Brown doubled up, and the inning comes to an end. Jose Ramirez started that. Let's jump in now with Yuri Perez, who's given up a couple already. Let's talk about his numbers a little bit. Perez has been up and down to open the season. There are a few quality starts in here, but we're seeking elite play and not really getting it.
That's the ball.
And now 3 straight missing to the 190 hitting Brandon Lau. You know already that one ain't coming back. And Brandon Lau puts the Dodgers back in front 3-2.
Ball, that's high.
Again, struggling with his command. And he walks Trevor Larnach. Best pitch of the inning, perhaps. 2-2 on Will Smith. That was supposed to be opposite side of the plate, and Smith just crushed a 2-run homer. And the Dodgers take a 5-2 lead. Who do you trust most in this rotation to go and win a game like this? I think we need to figure that out before we get to the postseason, because even if we have the 5 pitchers right now we go into the postseason with, who gets that first game? Who gets that second game? Who potentially starts twice in an extended series? Last year it was Perez, but that doesn't mean it'll be the same this season.
That's it out.
Another hit for L.A. Andy Pages past Johnny Grieve. Ellie De La Cruz here with the Dodgers. Maybe I should change his elbow guard and glove colors, the Dodger blue. And finally, we're going to get out of this inning, but L.A. gets 3 on a pair of homers.
Nope, ball.
Why is every fan base coming at Drew Jones like this? This is a mismatch, though. Drew Jones against Roki Sasaki. That's a bunt to the right side, and Jones will get on. I wasn't sure I could go to third. Jose Ramirez is just good. So I felt like bunting to the right side was our best way.
Runner.
Taking off and popped up. Johnny. Stop getting under the baseball. Hank Holder's average is climbing. It's up to 246. Good to see. And that's off the wrist of Ramirez. And if you don't make the play cleanly, you just aren't getting him. Or the guy who hits after. Oh, where's Evan Carter? Edwards is hitting third today. This is weird. 99 on the top of the zone. Shallow center. Not going to bloop in. All right, Brent Rooker. 2 on, 2 down against Roki Sasaki. Rooker, and that's crushed. Deep to left center, and this game is tied all over again. MVP versus Cy Young winner. Advantage MVP on Rooker's 8th of the season. Just missed with the slider. What a rally here by Miami, started by that Drew Jones bunt. How overrated was that? Sounds like a rally starter to me. Who made this lineup with Evan Carter hitting 5th? You are banned from setting our lineups. Left center from Carter, and too strong. But hey, we got those 3 back. That was exciting. 8-2 over our last 10, and we haven't lost a series a month into the year. Yuri Perez, can he go 5 here? I mean, bullpen, we got a few guys fresh. Wanted to pitch with Ariano today, but he's just never available for me. Holder right behind the second base bag. Retires Jose Ramirez. Shohei Ohtani. His stats are somewhat human now. He's hitting 237. Declining a bit. His overall has come down into the high 80s. Still an amazing player, but just not starting the season
1-1.
the way he usually does. All right, Perez getting ahead. Can he put Ohtani away? Not on the slider. Yeah, I'm thinking that 12-6 as well. 2-2, and got him. Strike 3. Lau did damage earlier with that homer. Perez meets him again and strikes him out on the big curveball. And that'll be Perez day as he finishes the 5th. And we forced the Dodgers into their bullpen. We did our job against Sasaki. We know how Maton plays. Going to be a whole lot of sweepers and movement. Cutter, curve, sweeper, sinker, slider. Probably not any of our favorite pitcher to face, as Norby just misses this one. Here's Milt Merrifield. Oh, God, those numbers. 7.36 ERA. Lefties hitting 375. Yeah, we might have to think about who some of those alternatives down at AAA are. Troy Gates gets his season underway. Declan Cronin could be an option. Got a couple guys down there worth keeping an eye on. April Players of the Month, Evan Carter and Aaron Judge. Carter off to an incredible start again. Milt Merrifield, meanwhile, walks Trevor Larnach on 4. Grounded and through the right side. The first 2 for LA are on. Fly ball into the gap. Carter's going to have this one. His arm is going to be tested. Throwing third. And it's now 1st and 3rd for LA. Fly down the line. Turning foul. There's a chance now with Merrifield. 0-2. And Joe Brown. No! I thought it bounced to him, and then he was like frozen. I couldn't walk over to first base. There are some weird like animation hiccups sometimes, and I've just been noticing it lately with like when runners are going and I'm holding the button to throw and nothing happens. That really should have been the end of the inning though. Pages, 2 strikes. And a weak tapper. Sprinting down the line. Holder gets him. Inning over. Okay, just keep bringing out relievers that have starred in past series of mine. Penn Murphy's next. What do you say we do it again? Nearly the exact same bunt, and he's on! Drew Jones with 2 bunts for hits. How overrated is that, Los Angeles? I mean, just masterful bunting by Drew Jones. And he's going. Johnny down the line. Jones will head to third, be waved around, and just like that, he's already scoring. On the RBI double by Johnny Grieve. Bring back the hit and run. That's real baseball. Here's Hank Holder. Oh boy, the slurve broken out. Yeah, Murphy and Maton in the same bullpen. That's kind of just nasty with the way they both pitch. 2 guys relying on a lot of movement. Not going to see a ton of fastballs. Driven to the gap, and Edwards now will drive in a run. Another extra base hit is 7-5. Yeah, stay at second base. Who's next? Gabe Spire. Ooh, those numbers do not inspire much confidence. Come on, that was pretty good, right? Brent Rooker. 1 down. Rooker with a fly into the right center gap. Edwards set up, and he'll tag from second. 2 down now. All they got to do is get the hottest hitter in baseball out now, Evan Carter. Yeah, his OPS is 1263. Jonah Bride in the top 3. So conflicting seeing that. Little did we know at the start of this series that Jonah Bride would be one of the best players throughout our time. Then in real life, he got traded to my favorite team, the Twins. Oh, you think that's like a perfect match, right? But Jonah Bride's time in Minnesota will probably be best remembered for him throwing knuckleballs and continuously having to pitch in blowouts during the month of June. He is currently at AAA. Edwin Uceda is tasked with protecting our lead, and he has done a great job against lefties. He's a reverse splits guy this year. He strikes out Ellie De La Cruz on just 2 pitches because I accidentally had Milt Merrifield throw the first pitch of the inning. So, kind of an awkward substitution there, but I wasn't leaving him in. Okay. At least it was hard to hit. Lifted and driven hard to left field. Norby chasing and catching it on the warning track. And showtime in the bottom of the 7th inning. Uceda in there for strike 1. Another pitcher we added from the Rays organization. What a start to this at-bat. He strikes out Shohei Ohtani. What a frame. Want to see if Uceda can go a little bit further. 2 more lefties start off the bottom of the 8th inning. And he's one of our best options against him. Got him! Chasing, strike 3. You're telling me the Angels are already up 9.5 games. It's the very beginning of May, guys. How bad is that division? Or how good are the Angels? The Angels, Marlins, and White Sox are completely different teams here in the franchise. It's cool to see not just us get rebuilt in this series, but other teams have done a really good job alongside us. Yeah, the Dodgers are only up a game. Like, the distance between them and the Rockies in last is less than the Angels in second place. We're barely a month into the year. I do think Larnach is the last batter we'll have Uceda face, and he walks him. And we'll call upon Jose Hernandez now. 3.75 ERA. Numbers have to get better against righties. Now would be a good place to begin. Jammed him. Popped up behind second base. Edwards makes the catch. Kyle Tucker off the bench. I forgot about Kyle Tucker. All right, this is a big at-bat. 4 homers, hitting .241. He and Ohtani not playing at the top of their game right now. And, oh, he's in the right spot. Get to the bag. There we go. I was panicking there for a minute. Can we add anything more in the 9th? Hank Holder here with 1 down. Grounded. Through. Base hit. Hank's going to take off, and he will be in there with a stolen base. Just 4 on the season. When I sim these games, man, they just don't run. Base hit, Edwards. Holder coming around, and he scores. It's 8-5 Miami. A 3-run lead handed off to closer Cole Sands. Looking for his 8th save of the year. And a game that would secure a sweep in Los Angeles. Nasty stuff. Up the middle, rigged in. Holder gets to it, though, and nearly gets him. He was like directly behind the bag there when he threw it. So an infield hit. Andy Pages, a wave, strike 1. Got him, chasing a splitter, strike 3. Ellie De La Cruz sees a strike on the edge. 0-2 cutter, he's down swinging. And Ramirez flies to right center. Carter settles under, and we sweep the Dodgers in Los Angeles, scoring 8 on a day where Roki Sasaki, the 3-time Cy Young Award winner, starts. We put 5 on the board just against him. And the offense stayed aggressive and great throughout the game. You know, we would get runners on, and we weren't wasting our chances. Drew Jones had a couple bunt hits. Hank Holder had a base hit, and we manufactured that 9th inning run. I love this offense and the way it's all come together. And we are just into the month of May now, 31 games into the season. We are 3.5 games up on the Nationals, currently in second place. The Braves have definitely stepped up their play, so saving their season is still in the cards. They were pretty dreadful, though, the first couple weeks. We'll actually put the Dodgers again quickly in our next action. Evan Carter leads us in homers with 10, 8 for Brent Rooker, 7 for Connor Norby, 6 for Logan O'Hoppe. Josh Lowe did not homer at all in this episode after a pair of 2 home run games in the previous video. Hank Holder playing better over his last 10, 293, 512 slugging. So his numbers are in a decent spot 30 games in. What about Doug Butcher? Now, there's a little bit of a later start at AA, so he's played 24 games, not quite a full month yet. But I think he's going to be certainly moving up to AAA next episode. He has joined the 80 overall club, partially because he's hitting lefties well, and thankfully durability is going up. Here's some of that development I wanted to see from PJ Morlando. He's up to a 75. Good offensive upgrades for him. Aubrey Fenner is starting to get a bit of a boost as well. He's now a 72. Yeah, that's one thing I never actually talked about with Chet Sparbory. His durability isn't great. It's lower now than Doug Butcher's, and that hurts his chances of becoming a regular starter. A bench role might be more of his long-term ceiling. Jorge Vizcaino is now up to a 75 overall, improving the hit per 9 and walk per 9. So far in 6 starts down at the AAA level. He's pitching to a 2.97 ERA, 1.41 whip. We are sitting here with the 3rd best batting average in baseball while scoring far and away the most runs and the 2nd most homers, tied with the Cincinnati Reds. Our team ERA is falling a bit down to 17. That is the thing we have to keep an eye on. Not many questions about the offense, but how good is the pitching going to be? That will do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Hope you're excited about more to come in the Marlins franchise, and I'll be doing my best here in the first week of CFB to make sure there aren't too big of breaks between episodes. It's always tricky when a new game comes out, but exciting at the same time. That's all for me today. Have a great day, everybody. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.